customers can expect from that new iPhone is CNET editor Scott Stein. Good morning, Scott. Obviously, you already have your hands on one of those phones. People are talking about no home screen. Yes, there it is, facial recognition. Kind of talk about all those cool features.
Yeah, sure. So I think the facial recognition part is the one that's going to take the most getting used to, but it actually works on my face, and other people tried it, and it works. And it worked even if I changed my facial hair. It worked even when I wet my hair. It worked in the dark. There are certain times where it seems to have a little difficulty, and at certain times where it seems to not happen immediately. But in general, it did work. But that also means no home button. So you're going to have to get used to a new bunch of gestures with this phone. Swiping up is the new go home, and other gestures, which if you're on the go, might take a lot of getting used to. I think that the size and the screen are fantastic. And basically, it's a size I've wanted for a while. And I think it feels really good to hold. But it's also $1,000.
Yeah, let's talk about that price tag. A lot of people are talking about it come in at a hefty price. Is it worth? I mean, you've been going through the phone, you've seen it. Is it worth $1,000?
Well, this has the most features and everything else compared to any of the other iPhones. It's the top end of the line. It's a bump up from the iPhone 8 Plus, basically, in terms of cost. But I think if you're looking for performance, if you're looking for general camera quality, you'd be fine going with any of the iPhones in the lineup right now, the 8, the 8 Plus, or the 10. This is about the extra features, and it's about the design, and it's about the shape, and it's also about showing off the new phone. I think what it can really do with that front-facing camera that can 3D scan your face, that still remains to be seen in terms of the apps that take advantage of it.
I mean, even though the price tag is so high, we just showed a line. People are waiting outside. People have been waiting outside here in Omaha for 12 plus hours. How does Apple expect this phone to sell?
I think very well. And so far, it looks like, there's a lot of, Apple's reported a lot of demand. It's hard to tell how many there are. But it seems like a lot of people are interested in buying it. People I know, at least, it's anecdotal to a tech world, and maybe people who have the money for it. But I think it's actually seems to be a phone that a lot more people want to buy than I was expecting, as far as where it's positioned at the top end.
Any complaints so far? I mean, you've gotten to play with it for a little bit. Any complaints?
Well, I think the way things shift around with the gestures and the way you see things changes. And what I mean by that is at the top. Oh, first of all, there's a notch at the top, which I'm not thrilled with, which cuts off part of the screen. That doesn't affect a lot of the apps, though, which start below it. But the things you can see at the top, like your Bluetooth settings, some basic phone settings, actually go away on this unless you swipe down. So that means that, knowing if your headphones are paired or what your battery percentage level is, all that is kind of changed. So that, that could throw you off. They're little things, but that's what you use every day on your phone. That might change in a software update, but getting to the home button again, swiping on the go, it feels a little more awkward compared to what you might be used to as far as I'm experienced, with previous iPhones.
Yeah, sounds like you're going to kind of have to retrain your brain. Thanks for sharing that. It was cool to get a first-hand look. Thanks, Scott. Well, again, as I mentioned, if you want to get your hands on one, our Village Point Apple Store opens at 8 a.m.